What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Verse Crypto channel. We got another awesome live stream today. Today, we're going to be talking about all things titanX, and we're going to get into an AMA at the end. I figured I spent one of these live streams, answer a few of your questions, because I'm starting to realize a lot of you guys have a bunch of questions and a lot of really great points, so I think it'd be cool to do a live stream dedicated to the AMA side. And I'm not gonna lie, I never really do AMAs. It's not really my thing. I usually just do research and come on here and tell you guys what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at, and just pass on the knowledge to you guys. So it's gonna be a really fun one. I'm excited. It's Friday night. Weekend's right around the corner. All smiles around, and we're all gonna talk about our favorite thing today, titanX. Now, I'll let everyone get some time to get into the room, but right now, let's just take a little lookarooski at what's going on with the price. And I do not have my price chart pulled up. Shame on me. All right, let's do a little screen share. Do 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 do. Will you please pop up? Da 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 da. Cool. All right. Now, just taking a look at what's going on with Bitcoin right now. We're still trading sideways a little bit. We're sitting at that $44,000 level. All right, there's my lines. So we had a little bit of a ascending triangle coming out, and seems like we're getting a little bit of a breakout, but we're still holding that trend line. I firmly believe when we get up to that 46,000 level, that's when we're going to get into a little bit of trouble, and we could have a bounce off back down. But right now, we're just trading in this range, and overall, I think the rest of January is going to be extremely bullish. There's a lot of hype on crypto. ETF is out there, but I think it's a little bit more than the ETF. I don't think the ETF is really driving the market right now. I think what's really driving the market is people are excited that the bull market's around. Everybody knows it happens every 4 years. It's not a big grand conspiracy theory, yada, yada, yada. So overall, really, really bullish, still holding that trend line. Nothing really bad's going on, and we haven't had any major correction. Now, come over here to crypto bubbles. Keep in the top 100. So we got some red. Altcoins had a little bit of a dip today. So, I mean, it's a really great time to get into your favorite altcoins. I'll give you guys some good alpha. I don't like to reveal every pick I'm looking at, but Beam, absolutely love this project. It's a layer 2 scaling solution. Well, it's actually a sidechain, not a layer 2 scaling solution, but it's a sidechain for the Avalanche network. And the main thing they're looking at are video games. Alex Becker likes this pick. Elio Trades like this pick. I absolutely like this pick. And believe it or not, I think we're only up 3x for the year. So it's actually not too bad of a play if I did the math there. Maybe it's a 4x. But overall, I could definitely see this market cap absolutely skyrocketing. Now, looking over some other picks. SEI. This one I keep seeing people talking about. They're saying that this is going to be the next Solana, and usually when I hear stuff like that, I don't usually believe it. But what's interesting is SEI doesn't have a major token dump until the end of 2024. That's part of the reason why so many people are getting into right now before that initial token dump. So it could absolutely be a play going on to the future. Now let's get into the top 200 and see what's crack-a-lacking, see if we got any projects that I am somewhat familiar with. Dang. Our boy Pulse is actually making some momentum. We had a little bit of sell-off, definitely recovered. As I've said, I personally think Pulsechain is a sleeping giant. I think Pulsechain is going to absolutely blow people's mind. And when it comes to a run-up or a Solana-type run-up, the one Solana-type run-up that I think will be insane is going to be the Pulsechain one. And a lot of people are sleeping on it. And this is actually a great time to get in. So cool. All right, so that's a little bit of altcoins. Talk a little bit about Bitcoin. Bullish all around, baby. So now let's pull the titanX chart, and then let's see if we got any questions or anything. Whoa, 61 of you guys are in here. Nice. Dang, I did not think that we have this many people. Cool. K Wizzle. White paper explains the numbers. Price from all-time low to all-time high. Definitely not going to hit 55K with inflation set to come out next year. Total supply will be half a SHIB, which hit 0.00088 all-time high. All right, well, K Whistle, here's the thing. If you look at the inflation supply shock, it's going to cut it a little bit more than 50% after a year. So basically October of 2024, you're going to see a huge difference about with the amount of tokens coming out. On top of that, we got 10 to 15 coins launching top of titanX. I think 55,000X is a little ambitious. I do agree. The reason why it's there is for the thumbnail, and that's the big talk of the community. Can titanX to 55,000X? But the things you got to consider is that inflation shock, the cost of miner going up, and 10 to 15 more projects launching on top of that. And there could be a massive ecosystem. So I would never say never, but likelihood, very, very small. So we'll see. Lord 88, let's freaking go. titanX, shout out to you, baby. Cool. Lyle, if this 55K X magic number was to be possible, what would you see the total and circulating supply be? Could we get some insane burn down to 20,000 trillion total titanX with a 5 to 10% liquid? It's a good question. And, you know, to be honest, when it comes to hitting a 55,000X, the best time to do is going to be after a year, and it's going to be extremely dependent on how much ETH is in that buy and burn pool and what the price of ETH is. So at the end of this year, I could see ETH hitting seeing $2,000 right now. So I could see ETH sitting at about 8,000. So the buy and burn pool is going to increase by a lot. And then also on top of that, we're going to have multiple projects launch within titanX. So when it comes to the token supply, I'm not necessarily worried about the amount of tokens being minted. The thing that I'm really, really looking at is the total liquid supply in the buy and burn. So if you have a very, very small liquid supply at titanX and you have a buy and burn constantly buying and selling and burning these tokens, that's where you're going to get some insane price appreciation. So imagine if the liquid supply gets down to, we'll say 3 to 4% range. I don't know how realistic that would be. And the buy and burn starts to kick in. That's when you can see a massive price appreciation. So in my opinion, it could potentially happen. Is it a little ambitious? I definitely do agree. But it's great because it got you guys talking. Cool. Red Pill Free Base 42, titanX. What's up, man? Good to see you, Lex P. titanX 10,000X program. If you understand what has been built. T-rank secret sauce. Do your own research. Good stuff. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Rayo X, what's up, brother? It's good to see you, my man. Always good to see my boy Rayo X. Dragons, heck yeah. Good to see you, man. Tom Sanderson. titanX 55,000X, no. Maybe 100X, definitely 10X. Man, I'm going to start putting 55,000X now because it seems like a lot of you guys keep coming in and talking about it, so I love it. Germans won. Let's freaking go. Blue, shout out to Blue, man. It's good to see you. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Osa Kanal. I'm not going to even try to pronounce your name. titanX 1000X. Let's freaking go. Ray OX. Don't forget Hex. Check out Akoza. Might be a leverage play on Hex price. Yeah. You know, I saw that with your friend Sami. He was saying that basically Akoza could potentially be a leverage play on the price of Hex. I do agree. The one thing I want to pay attention to is the liquidity in that between Icosa and I think it was Ethereum and also Icosa and Hex. So I'm not really sure if that's going to be the case. I need to do a little bit of research because I haven't really looked at it in a minute. But I'm curious. That's a good point. Shout out to my boy Viber Finance. Always good to see you, brother. And then Goo God, too much chat energy in the comments. Hey, shout out to my boy Goo God, shout out to my boy titanX. Yo, those are my peoples. Please go follow them on Twitter. Awesome, really great dudes. Got all the alpha, very educated, and they're out here to crush the space. Cool. We actually got super chat. That's awesome, man. $4.99. Is that euros? Oh, nice. That's the first time I got super chat in euros. Hopefully that's right, but. Surely, Titan can kill 2 zeros in the bull run. Hey, I definitely do agree. 100x, maybe 1,000x, depending on how many projects we get launched on top of TitanX. But a lot of it has to do with the adoption and also the buy and burn wall address. But the thing is, if you got a lot more people using the product and a lot more people burning for that token, because keep in mind, there's going to be a competition to see who can burn the most titanX tokens. And if that were to be the case, then the protocols launching on top of it are going to try to create something innovative so that they can burn the most tokens. And so it's like a secondary market with competition coming in, which I absolutely love. But yeah, thank you so much, Germans1, for the super chat. Binance, on a side note, in the future, what do you see with XRP? I'm talking a few years from now. Oh man, XRP, man. I'm probably gonna get roasted by the community for this, but it is what it is. So here's the deal with XRP. I have so many friends told me about the Grandmaster plan about XRP going to 589. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think XRP is gonna do well in this bull market. We could see maybe a 10 to 15x. But I think when Ripple announces their stock offering, I think it's ISO or something, but basically when the stock comes online, that's when I see a lot of that money moving into their stock, and then the token will still be used for cross-border payments, but it's going to be used with bank settlements. So when it comes to the appreciation aspect, I don't see XRP appreciating as much as most of these people are saying. But hey, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Rayo X, only professional degenerates on the verse. Yes, sir. As always. Goo God, dump your XRP for XLM and HBAR. That's financial advice. Dude, I love Goo God, dude. He's the funniest guy. I love that. I do like you. Hey, XLM HBAR, they got something really good going on. Crypto Girl, holy crap, that's a huge drink bottle. Laugh out loud. Yes, it is. Where's Triton? Where's Triton? I have no idea what do you mean? That water bottle. 55 watching. Where's Triton? Oh, you're talking about this water bottle. Yeah. Okay, I was about to say, I was so confused. Yeah, so I basically drink 2 gallons a day, so I drank 2 of these. So yeah, I drank a lot of water. So all right, cool. So let's get into all the good stuff. You guys got any more questions? Leave them down in the chat below. I'm gonna save it for the second part, but let's just talk about all the relevant stuff. Cool. Now take a look at the price of titanX. We basically have a little bit of a dip, and then we had the usual Sami FUD coming in saying every project's a scam. And then since then, we basically been trading sideways for a little bit, and now we had a little bit of correction. We had token dumps coming onto the market. Now, some things that I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at our last lowest level since we had this initial run up. And if you guys go and you take a look at that, right now, titanX is trading at about 40, we'll say about 40% above that level. So right now, we're not in like the doom and gloom phase. We're basically trading from that local low, and then since the project launched, we're still up a pretty good amount. So I would say we're sitting at about I would say about a 4x from when we launched up. So overall, even though everyone's going to sit there and attack the chart, like if you click log, they're like, oh my god, the project looks like a rug pull. But overall, right now the price is just trading sideways. We're seeing more and more tokens being dumped out onto the market, and there's some things that I've been looking at that I've been really noticing. So if we come over here to I want to come over here to this dashboard. So I really like the SunG dashboard. It shows you basically how much titanX is being burned right now. And so basically in the beginning we had version 1 kick in the buy and burn, and then basically we converged from V1 to V2, and so periodically the V1 came in and burned some tokens on like the high inflation days. But right now V2 is just coming in here and just burning this tokenX like crazy. We're actually getting almost upwards of 400 billion titanX tokens being burnt off the market, which is absolutely crazy because right now we're in the inflationary phase, but also titanX is hitting some massive deflationary parts, which is pretty cool. Now, the other thing I'm also looking at is what's going on with the miners, and this is where you got to really pay attention to. And so just looking at the max miner, right now we're sitting at a 6x profit ROI. If you first got in, you basically could have hit a 15x, and this doesn't include the T-share ranks, the T rank bonus and whatnot. I'm not going to get into that. We're just going to keep it simple. But right now, to do a max miner, you're only going to get a 6x bag. Now, if I put this out about 140 days, we're looking at about a 3x off of your initial. And then to just break even, I believe that was sitting at about, was it 25? Okay, so 26, 28. Okay, so it's looking at right around 27, 28. So we'll say 28. So to just break even on your titanX miner, you're basically going to have to do one about 28 days out. Now, in my opinion, I probably want to do a break-even miner. It doesn't make sense unless you're speculating for a project launch event. I get that, but we're not going to get into that too much. The most reasonable miner that you can make right now is probably going to be somewhere around, right around I would say a 2x. So that's probably going to be right around day 100. Actually 90. Yeah, so right around day 90, that's going to be like a 2x miner. So in my opinion, if you're going to do short-term miner, you definitely want to shoot for the 2x. What I prefer is actually a 5x on the miner, so you get a little bit more bang for your buck. And that's going to be sitting at a, let's say 195? No, I would say 200. It's probably 200 right now. 210. Yeah, so right around 210 is where you can get a 5x on your miner. Now, sorry. Now, why is this important? The reason why this is important is because so many of these titanX tokens are being launched out into the market. We're starting to see less and less people do short-term miners. And because we're seeing less and less people do short-term miners, this is going to have an impact on the future inflation. Believe it or not every single person is going to do a miner in the negative. They're gonna think from a capitalistic mindset. They're gonna say, okay, where can I do a miner that will make me the most money? And so, in my opinion, probably right outside that 90-day time frame, maybe up to that 200-day time frame, is when people are going to be selling their miners, which actually coincides very, very close to day 280, where we have that massive inflation event that's going to hit the entire market. So the reason why I say this is because when it comes to short-term miners, unless we see a huge up in the price right now, we're not going to see that much tokens going out into the market, and we're going to start to see more and more of that supply eaten up and just burnt right off the market. Now, to further my analysis, if we come down here and we look at daily inflation, as of right now, we're sitting at about 149 billion titanX. In the past couple of days, we've actually seen a negative daily inflation. I've seen almost like 100,000 to 150,000 burn right off the market, which is absolutely crazy and pretty awesome. So, hold on, let me turn this off. Sorry, I don't know why it keeps making noises. So overall, basically, the buying bird's coming in, it's kicking in, it's burning up that token. Until we get a massive pump, don't expect any more short-term miners to come out. Now, just taking a look at what's going on by tokens minted by day, we had this little small short time period right here where we didn't have that many tokens hit the market. And then all of a sudden, once we start getting into December, boom, we start getting into the 634 billion, 762 billion, and just dumping into the market. So overall, for the amount of tokens being dumped into the market and for how the price is performing, it's actually pretty impressive. And then also on top of that, let's take a look at where's the stats? So on top of that, we're actually still sitting at below 10% titanX liquid. So I think that's really impressive that there's only about 10% titanX liquid out there, and basically the staking and the buy and burn is just taking care of the rest. So absolutely really cool, and it's really great to see the protocol kick in. And please keep in mind, we're still in this experimental phase, and we're still looking at how this project's going to approach, because there's a good chance that if this project becomes a hit on Ethereum and there's another great blockchain, you guys might get a second chance at another titanX launch. But please don't bank on it. We won't speculate on whether or not titanX is going to get to another blockchain. Let's just focus on titanX here on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, let's get into some other things. Let's talk a little bit about Hyper. I know you guys love your Hyper. I think this is probably the biggest project everybody's talking about. So the rules have changed. Oh, let's go back. The rules have changed. No ETH needed for Hyper. titanX build on titanX. So basically, his initial setup was basically you take your titanX, you had to pay, I think it was like 0.2 ETH or 0.1 ETH to even use the dApp, but now he's actually removing ETH from the dApp. So this is very interesting. A little mystery, you know what I'm saying? A little mystery going on. And then on top of that, first protocol, new Hyper, will focus on maximizing liquid titanX. Second protocol, old Hyper will get a new name, will focus on maximizing stake titanX. More info. Yes, there will be two. Muhahaha. Now, why is this important? This goes back to what we were talking about the AMA earlier. You guys were roasting me about titanX hitting a 55,000x saying that it ain't possible. And like I said, you know, it definitely is a long shot. But the reason why Jake is focusing on that liquid titanX has a lot to do with price appreciation, what goes into my first analysis. So in my opinion, having two separate protocols is going to be really, really great. And by prioritizing going after titanX that's liquid on the market, you could see some insane price appreciation, and the overall protocol health is going to go up. So definitely awesome things to say. And then the second one, only pool is going to be titanX and Hyper as well. No ETH needed. If you want in on Hyper early, you'll need titanX, no other way. So basically, if you want to use this new titanX protocol, you have to have just liquid titanX just right off the bat. That's it. There's no other routes around. There's no other, you know, hidden elements or whatnot. You have to have titanX, and the main pool is going to be titanX and Hyper, which we'll get into actually right now. So before I get into, you know, the token distribution, the liquidity pools, actually I talked about on Smoothing Crypto. Hey, shout out to Smoothing Crypto. If you guys get a chance, please check them out. I'll answer a few more questions and see what's up. So, cool. Now, let's see. RayoX, true. Dumped XRP. You got a point. Okay, cool. Vibrant Finance. Once flares up, running it will steal all the thunder. I think it's the other sleeping giant. Sounds good. RayoX Hyper. Guga, don't talk about flare, bro. Man, we're having an ISO 222 talk in the chat. I love this. This is awesome. So let's see. We got any other questions? Okay, cool. All right, now let's talk a little bit about how all these projects are going to perform. If you guys caught my little snippet on Smoothing Crypto, I got a little bit into the liquidity pools, and that's what I was actually going to talk about today, but I decided doing his live stream because, you know, he's a really good dude, and I wanted to add some pretty cool value and give you guys something to think about. Now, there's some other things I was thinking about with the rollout of these new projects. I know you guys seen my last live stream saying, like, I'm being careful covering which project, but, you know, also, you know, please keep an open mind. And once the project hits a certain standard where they put out an audit, they start marketing, they start doing all the right things, so, you know, give them a chance and see if they're actually going to be a play. Now, in a couple months, we're probably going to see Hyper come out. And then on top of that, we're going to see about 10 to 15 projects launch on top of titanX. And also keep in mind, Hyper is going to be designed to be a launch pad as well. Well, at least that's the plan right now. So we'll get into that a little bit more. But the reason why this is so powerful and why this is going to be extremely impactful to the titanX protocol is it's going to come down to these liquidity pools. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my pretty picture because one day I will be an artist. So to start off, I'm just going to do bubbles, and I'm going to make it a little bit easier. So we have ETH at the top. So in order to get into anything into titanX, you're going to have to come down here. You go through ETH to buy your titanX. So that's going to be one of the main gateway entries in the titanX. And of course, somebody can come along and build another liquidity pool if it's thick and create another route. But right now, you got this main liquidity pool right here, and I believe it's like, what was it, like 5 million or something? I'll have to go check, but it doesn't matter. So we got the main liquidity pool. Now, when Hyper gets set up, you're basically going to have Hyper on top of titanX. I mean, right here. HYP. And so the LP pairings right here, these little lines right here, these are going to be our LP pairings. I think this would be a better way to explain it. So basically on top of titanX, you're going to have Hyper. And the main goal of Hyper is to build this LP right here. This little line right here is to have a very thick LP so that basically it increases burning of titanX. You have an awesome arbitrage opportunity between both of these tokens. So basically you have two pools, and you can come in and, you know, sell titanX from this pool into that pool, and then from that pool to another. Now, this is where things are going to get very, very, very interesting when we have new projects launched on top of it. So if I come over here and get a black pin, we're probably going to have token A on top of here. And then we're going to have token B on top of here. And then we're going to have token C on top of here. So we're basically going to have token A, B, and C create these LPs all across the board. And using these LPs, what they're going to do is they're going to compete with these other projects, and the goal is to burn titanX. And the more titanX you burn, the more you get. So this is the competition. We have a competition, baby, titanX. And so you're basically going to have 10 of these LPs across here. And what's going to get very, very interesting is you're going to have a price of titanX that's going to be different in each and every single one of these pools. So you have a nice arbot coming in. Well, that arbot is going to have opportunities to come in and trade titanX from each LP and get an arbitrage opportunity. So for example, titanX could be worth, you know, 0.01 in this LP. And let's say titanX is worth 0.005 in this LP. Well, what you can do is you can buy it up right here and then sell it into this LP, and then basically make 50% off of your money. So this is the baseline of what I was covering on Smoothing Crypto and the power of these LP pools, because I firmly believe if these protocols are to be self-sufficient in the future, they're going to have to build this thick LP so that you can swap in and out titanX. And version 3 Uniswap liquidity pools is going to be a great way to burn as much titanX as humanly possible. Now, this is where things are going to get very, very interesting. And this is the other part that I didn't speak about too much, and I saved for this live stream. Hyper's a launch pad, right? So basically what's going to happen is you're going to have all these tokens launching on top of titanX, but then you're going to have more tokens come in here and then launch on top of Hyper. So then we're going to get token D. We're going to get token E. And then we're going to get token F. And then this is where things get absolutely crazy, because you're going to have an LP. So this is going to be like Hyper to token F. And then, you know, Hyper to token E. So then basically these projects are going to be competing with each other to basically burn as much Hyper as humanly possible to get rewarded in Hyper. And they're going to be competing with each other. And what's going to be interesting is these changes in the price is actually going to overall affect the price of Hyper. And when that happens, that's actually going to impact the liquidity pool in titanX and just cause a massive amount of arbitrage between all these pools. And so the point I'm trying to get across, guys, is this is where things get pretty crazy, because in my opinion, everyone's really focused on launching up on top of titanX, and Hyper is going to be the first one to do it. But in my opinion, once Hyper is launched, I think that next gem is going to be the first one to launch on top of Hyper. And that's probably the project I'm going to be targeting. So it's probably going to be one of these projects. And that thick liquidity pool could possibly cause massive price appreciation and also add so much value to titanX. And that's what gets me really excited. Now, here's the last thing. There's more. I swear to God, there's more. Now, here's the crazy part that I was thinking about, and it came to me last night. What if you had a project that came in and said, okay, you know what? We got Hyper, we got titanX. I'm actually going to create something where we're going to burn titanX and Hyper and basically build two liquidity pools. So you're basically competing in both of these levels, so in the Hyper ecosystem and the titanX ecosystem. And basically you sit there and say, okay, you can either burn titanX or you can burn Hyper for this said token, and we'll say this is token G. And so now they're actually competing in 2 burn pools to get the most Hyper and titanX tokens, and now you have 2 LPs opened up, which is going to further the arbitrage opportunities and the burning of titanX and Hyper. So the game theory behind this is a lot more advanced than you think, and how I see this playing out is you're going to have titanX launch, and then you're going to get token A, B, and C. And then you're going to get token D and F. They're going to explore, and they're going to try to build on top of Hyper. And then you're going to get this cool hybrid token that's basically going to try to burn titanX and Hyper on top of that to get that burn reward payout, and to also further incentivize building on top of the ecosystem. So overall, guys, I'm really, really excited. And when we see this token web slowly get built out on Ethereum, this is where we're going to possibly see some massive price appreciation, because so much titanX is going to be taken off the market and burned for these other protocols. You know, when it comes to the price appreciation, your guess is good as mine. I'm not going to go full moon boy, but you guys can see how complex this can get. So what I'm really excited for is following this ecosystem, looking at these new projects launch, because like I said, once they have their audit out and they're ready to go, we're going to go in, cover some of these projects, and we can build out this web and look at how this is impacting titanX. And overall, I'm extremely bullish, and I'm so freaking excited. So hopefully you guys got all that. I know it was a little complex, but the best way to think about it is titanX is one layer. It's just one level. And then Hyper is the second level. And with titanX and Hyper, with these 2 levels, you can build on top of both of them. And when you build on top of both of them, you're just going to increase the titanX burn. And when you increase the titanX burn, you're going to increase adoption and make the community much more bullish. So overall, I'm definitely really excited. That was the main thing I want to get across today. So we'll get into some questions and comments and see what's going on. Hold on, let me get over to my big old water bottle. Oh, whoa, we got $500. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jeez Louise, what is going on? Jay-Z, what is up, man? My favorite 33, dude. This is a donation to help one of your family members get started with their first 200-day miner. Maybe your dad a miner. Everyone pay it forward to the best streamers in titanX. Let's freaking go. Dude. Jay-Z, man, thank you so much, man. Hey, I really appreciate you, dude. Dang, that's crazy. And hey, guys, what I want all you guys to do is please go on Twitter, go over to Jay-Z's account, give him a follow. He's awesome. Puts out really great content, big in the Hex community, big in the Pulsechain community, big in the titanX community. And you know what? I'm going to take that $500 and I'm going to give it to someone close to me that really needs it, because I got one person who had a really, really bad year. And you know what? I think it's going to be good for him. And I think it'll be a great way to really help him out. So stay tuned. I'm going to do a live stream with him, and I'm definitely going to pay for it. So yeah, shout out to JC Hexing. I really do appreciate you, man. So really, really good stuff. Awesome. So let's see what else we got. Shout out to Dejan Hunter, man. You're awesome, dude. Shout out to him, dude. Always got the good stuff. Vibra, more alpha in this chat than 99% of streamers. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Mofo fishing. When Hyper? Ugh, I wish they'd tell us a date. Yeah, you know, I think Jake is right now going in. He's actually developing. He's building. He's trying to really harness in and really build out this project. So the reason why he's not live streaming is because he's building. And so, in my opinion, I think Jake is just focused on that. It'll come when it comes. I can do the whole numerology, astrology stuff and really get into, you know, what the potential launch date is. But at this point, you know, just let him build and then we can speculate later. But if Hyper's a phenomenal project, dude, this thing can go absolutely crazy. So good. All right. So, the more the better for titanX. Mofo fishing. Oh, you can go full moon boy. This is the mofo. Full moon boy. Thanks, Mofo fishing. I love it, man. Goo God. Good breakdown, bro. Yeah, shout out to you, Goo God. Rayo X. I'm definitely buying 50K Hyper on launch day. Yeah, you know, I think it'd be really great, but you know, when the white paper comes out, I'm definitely going to cover the white paper. And the one thing I'm really curious about is the staking mechanics behind Hyper. how is the staking mechanics going to impact Hyper? Are we going to have some sort of hyperinflation going out to the future, or maybe there's some protocol yield or something? I'm not really sure. That's what's really catching my interest right now, but I definitely do agree. Hyper's an absolute gem. Mofo fishing, beast mode. Oh, good God. Here we go. Laugh out loud. Frosty Dog, thanks for your efforts. Mofo fishing. Shout out to you, man. Good God. Well deserved. I love it, man. Frosty Dog, shout out to you, dude. We gotta go surfing sometime, man. I saw your comment on smoothing crypto. Pish. My apologies if I say your name wrong. What percentage of your staking pool are you burning for Hyper? This is actually a really great question. So I was getting like some of my payouts, man, were sitting at about $400, $500. I have one payout, I think it was like $750. Now the thing is, when more and more of your titanX being staked, it's going to dilute you. And so when you're getting to a point where you're not getting a well-worthy ETH payout, then I would just take it and then burn it for just Hyper off the bat. So I have two wallets. I did one wallet where I staked at the beginning. I'm only getting like $5 worth of payout. So I'm going to burn all my stakes in that one. And then I got another wallet where I'm getting about $50 to $100. I think on like the 28-day payouts, or maybe it was the 8-day. I'm not really sure. I need to double check. But I'm going to keep those. But that one wallet where I'm not getting anything, I'm just going to burn all of that and then see what happens. And if there's a really great opportunity to burn your stakes for Hyper where you can make some awesome dough or a great arbitrage opportunity, then I'll probably burn a lot more. But if it's not a great opportunity, then I'm good just sticking on the titanX side and using the ETH payout. So the point I'm trying to get across is, guys, is when you get into Hyper, don't go full sin mode. I understand we're degens. We like to push the red shiny button, but do small little things and test things out because you don't want to burn yourself. It's like when you get into a meme. Well, I don't want to use meme coin analogy. When you first start trading, use a DEX or exchange, maybe you put in like $50 or $100, you get an idea what happens, and then you start trading higher and use lots more amount of money because you're being experienced. It's the same thing with Hyper. You know, build out your experience and your train behind it and then utilize it. Okay, so as for, oh yeah, and then a percentage, I would probably only do like 25%. That's what I'm going to do. It's up to you, but 25%. Frank Lane, that's what's up, Chris. Keep the circle going. Yes, sir. Kevin 1985, hello. Shout out to you, Kevin. Good to see you, man. Lyle, it's not only burning for the other projects, but I'm excited to see what burn mechanics will be built into these projects. Yeah. You know, Lyle, you know what would be so crazy if someone were to launch another launch pad just similar to Hyper. Let's say one of these projects says, oh yeah, we also have a launch pad where there's a burn pool. You can launch your project on top of that. And then you have like a whole line of tokens doing launch pads. That would be some crazy matrix stuff. So definitely really good. Mo Fishing, I want to get 2 more full 100% 200-day miners tonight. Numbers just crazy after you subtract 2 to 3 zeros. Yeah, and the big thing I want to get across Mofo Fishing, I just realized your name was Mofo. I like that name. You want to do them now, in my opinion, because when you do a 280-day miner, you're still going to be in the bull market. And the time to do it is when you're in the midst of the bull market. In 4 to 5 months, it might not be a great idea because, number one, the amount of titanX you're going to get is going to go down. But also, number two, you're going to be claiming your miner at the end of the bull market, and you want to avoid that. So definitely right now is the time, not financial advice, all that good stuff. titanX Turbator. We don't need titanX on another blockchain. This isn't Zen, which each chain has eluded the next. I do agree. Well, actually, no, let me give you my full-on opinion. I don't want titanX on 12 blockchains. I agree with that. Now, I do see what Zen was trying to do. They were basically trying to bring in adoption, get people interested, and I think the inflation divided up the economic energy and did a lot more harm than good. But I do see that if you got a community like Pulsechain, if you got a community like X1, if you got a really big blockchain that's getting eyes and people are going through with it, maybe it might be lucrative to launch on that said blockchain. But keep in mind the volume has to be above 100 million. Maybe, in my opinion, above $1 billion. It has to be really, really worth it. So I do agree with you that we shouldn't be on every single blockchain. but I would not count it out because there might be future opportunities to go on a really, really good blockchain with a really great community, and it can increase adoption. Because keep in mind, Ethereum has crazy gas fees, and I don't know how titanX would perform on another blockchain that doesn't have crazy gas fees. Maybe more people will use it, maybe less people will use it, and so there's a lot of speculation behind it. So I think the thing I'm trying to say is never say never, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, but I do agree we shouldn't be on 12 chains. Pesh, are you buying off the market at these prices or still mining? I would recommend just mining titanX right across the board. I probably wouldn't even buy titanX off the market and stake it because, you know, we're going to have more tokens coming out. So I think what makes the most sense is you have miners where you can get up to a 6x profit. So I would be focused on, you know, a couple max miners. I would be focused on maybe a 5x miner, and then maybe bare minimum do a little bit into a 2x miner for a short-term play and see if you can make a good profit off of that. But I would not be buying liquid titanX until we go from hyperinflation to hyperdeflationary. That's just my opinion, not financial advice. Okay, so Rayo X, everyone locked in for 8 days when they burned for hyper, so there's a small window to catch the pump. That's a very good point. Yes, Rayo X did bring up a great point. So you could jump into hyper within an 8-day period, but keep in mind, if you're going to get in 8 days, you better be watching that chart like a hawk, because when hyper's unlocked, you might see some extreme volatility in the market way across the board. So hold on. Sorry guys, I drink a lot of water. So good. Will it be great stream, Professor Kris? Hey, appreciate you, man. Always good to have you, my man. Pish, since we don't need ETH for hyper burning, assuming the 28th burn pool will not exist, I'm not really sure, man. I need to look into it. I don't want to say something that I have a clear idea of, so I need to look into it, so I'll let you know. Pish, bro, titanX on Solana with skyrocket. Volume is picking up as well. It seems like Solana is becoming very popular. It seems a lot of VC funds are pumping it up, and I'm so surprised that Solana is doing as well as it is doing right now. So it's pretty impressive, and I also think that you know, that's a blockchain that's going to do great numbers, but also I do think there's other blockchains like HBAR and XLM that are going to do really well, but that'd be pretty crazy. titanX on Solana, I could never imagine that. So will it be long? ETH, New York City, most money. Yes, sir. Rayo X, mining is the best into the future. It's way cheaper than buying liquid today. Yeah, and here's the thing. So we're in this mining phase. We're in the inflationary phase. There's going to come a time where holding liquid titanX is going to be much more better short term than just doing a short-term miner on titanX. So in my opinion, you know, utilize those miners, but watch the chart, watch the burn pools, and try to target that day when we go from hyperinflationary to hyperdeflationary. And there's a good chance I'll do a live stream blowing up about it. So, you know, you just check out my live stream because I'll tell you guys when it happens. But overall, when that day happens, holding titanX is going to be the best bet. James Hyzun. 3x miner, 120, 3x compound, 9x greater than 6x 280. I'm trying to understand what that means. So a 3x miner, 120, a 3x compound, 9x. Hey James, can you be a little bit more specific, man? Hey Zeus, I believe titanX will 60,000x on Ethereum. Let's freaking go. 60,000x, baby. I love it. Rayo X, I'm watching like a hawk if I'm dropping 50K. Yeah, hey man, Rayo X, you're a great trader, dude. And look, shout out to you, man. You've done a lot of really great calls, a lot of great plays, man, and you're pretty good at this game. So I definitely got it. Jesus, how big is that water bottle, man? You guys absolutely love my water bottle. Here, let's do a little bit of a comparison. So this is my water bottle. Yeah, you guys should screenshot and meme that. Best meme, I don't know. I'll give you guys like a cash prize. Yeah, see if you guys can meme that. Man, watch me get off of Twitter and I see like 20,000 memes of myself. Yeah, so this thing's like 2 feet, man. It's just a gallon water bottle. I bring it everywhere with me, and I surf a lot, so I need to stay hydrated. So that's why. So, Sele, one of the one of the things I'm worried is the gas fees during the bull run. Yeah, so here's the thing I want to say about gas fees. If you're worried about gas fees, now's the time to build up Ethereum. And the reason why I say that is because when we get into the bull run, Ethereum might appreciate 2 to 6x. Some people might be 10x. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to do price predictions on Ethereum. But if you can build up your Ethereum bag right now, and then you'll get like a 2 to 3x, then you can cover that gas fee when your titanX max miner has been coming out. That's what I've been doing. I've just been building my ETH bag in anticipation for my titanX miner coming out, so that won't be a problem. So to answer your question, who was it? Sele, start preparing now. Now's the time to prepare before this market goes absolutely nuclear, because you'll be thanking yourself later. RailX, Hyper on launch day is going to be pure chaos. Yeah, I love that, man. Use my name, Khaos Kris. James, water for the gains. Yes, sir. RailX, 4-liter bottle. Yeah, it's 4 liters. Will it be long? Check out Vitalik's roadmap. They're gonna try to fix the gas fee issues. So Willie, when I was looking at that roadmap, I think it was like EIP 440 or something. Someone was telling me that those gas fees are only applicable for layer 2 scaling solutions. I could be wrong, and I haven't really looked at it, but someone was telling me that it's not necessarily tailored for Ethereum. So I really hope it is, first and foremost, and I really hope that does play out. And I really hope Ethereum gets sharding, because the minute Ethereum gets sharding, we can fix the gas fee problem. But hopefully whatever they're putting out there, it works for the best. So crypto, let's see. Pesh, if I were to mine 280 now, this will be to hold liquid, as staking at the time won't make sense because of dilution. If I were to mine 280 length now, this will be to hold liquid, as staking at the time won't make sense because of dilution. No. So if you're going to mine titanX at 280 right now, then the titanX is going to come out into the market. You're going to have a T rank bonus, and that T rank bonus is going to increase the amount of titanX you get. So you're not necessarily going to be diluted, but if you were to hold liquid, then yes, you will be diluted. Maybe that's what you're trying to say. So gotcha. Nunya, not bad. Crypto girl, Chris's bottle is 55,000x on a normal water bottle. Oh man, I love your comments, guys. You guys are awesome. RayoX, utilitarian water ball ready for combat. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take this water ball and just slap somebody. I'm just kidding. I'm joking, YouTube. Don't ban me. Luan, my apologies if I say your name wrong. Why do we go from titanX to Hyper? What's the use? So the main use case between titanX and Hyper is, number one, you can burn titanX for Hyper. As we burn more and more titanX for Hyper, that's going to increase the price appreciation of titanX. Number two, it's going to burn more titanX. Number three, there's going to be a buy and burn component, which is going to push up the price of titanX. And number four, liquidity pools, arbitrage opportunities. So if you have titanX between Ethereum and then you have titanX between Hyper, you have basically 2 liquidity pools. And the best way to think of liquidity pools, it's like basically the price of titanX token. You have 2 prices of titanX token. And so let's say the price of one titanX token goes up by 50%. You can take that titanX token from one pool and sell into another pool and make a 50% profit. So the idea is, by adding this layer with another thick liquidity pool, you're going to help out the titanX price. You're going to burn more titanX off the market, and you're also going to increase adoption of the protocol. So overall, Hyper is going to be a really, really great added use case to the titanX ecosystem. Pesh, staking pool will only be lucrative for early whales down the line, as they will have a majority of the global share rate. So most of us staking won't make sense even in the midterm. Okay, so I get what you're saying, man. Yeah, so when it comes to getting to that staking pool, keep in mind there's a T share bonus. So the sooner you stake, the more shares you're going to get. And those shares determine your payout. So keep in mind, even though down the road, we're going to have more titanX coming out. The amount of shares you get is going to go down astronomically. So it's actually better to stake your titanX sooner. But on the flip side, more titanX is coming out as well. So you kind of have this weird catch-22 where you got to find a balance. So the best way to do it is if you're a big baller and you're doing these big short-term miners, it might make sense to put like 25% or 15 or 10% into staking. But once we start to see titanX go hyper deflationary, then that's when we're going to see more and more people stake, and then that's when we're going to see that effect. The other thing I can also see is a lot of those day 280 miners where we have the most titanX inflation. I can see a lot of those people taking those titanX tokens, staking them right away so they can get a huge Ethereum payout going on to the future because you're going to have so many tokens. So yeah, I do agree, man. If you're a small baller, definitely do the short-term miners or just one long-term miner. So really good stuff. All the way in you. Have you heard of Telos Layer 1? It's catching steam. All the way in you? Yes, I have. I'm actually in Telos. I like Telos because it has a interoperability component. I haven't jumped into it yet, but it is actually one of my picks for this next bull market. So I might do a video on it later. I did cover it in the past, but this is a titanX stream, so I'll stick with it. But yeah, man, definitely check out Telos. It's a really cool layer 1 blockchain. RayoX. I wouldn't rule out the stakes. It will grow in value when the token increases in value. Very good point. But Ray, make sure you pay attention to the share rate because the share rate is going to determine your ETH dividend payout. Dave, bots will probably abuse the ARB opportunity before regular folks do. Well, see, that's not necessarily a bad thing, Dave, because the reason why I'm saying that is when you have bots arbitraging between two pools, you got to look at Uniswap version 3. Uniswap version 3 burns a lot of tokens off the market. So the reason why that's going to be beneficial for the small holders, if they come in, they do arbitrage opportunities. If more titanX gets burnt, that means the titanX you have in your wallet is going to become much more scarce. It becomes much more scarce. It goes up in value. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do agree for you to take advantage of the arbitrage opportunity, you got to be a big baller and you got to have one of those arbitrage bots. Chances are the sniper bots will be out there doing their thing, and hey, man, it's just part of the game. Sela, wouldn't the gas fees be an issue for people investing in titanX if they are buying liquid due to gas fees, unless it gets put on a level 1 centralized exchange? Yes and no. The reason why... All right, so here's the thing with gas fees. If gas fees were to go up, that would mean that you would have to put a considerable amount of Ethereum to start a miner and to make it worth it. So if gas fees are at $150, you're probably going to have guys coming in. They're going to have to put in like a $500, maybe even $1,000 and above. So it's going to decrease the amount of titanX that goes out onto the market. But also with the increase in gas fees, it's going to be very difficult to trade because, those swaps are going to hit you pretty hard. Now, I do agree with you, Sele, that these gas fees are going to be a problem, but there's going to be other solutions to these gas fees. And if you guys go look on Pulsechain, someone actually bridged over titanX from Ethereum to the Pulsechain, and Pulsechain gas fees aren't that bad. So one prediction I have is when we see titanX blow up, what we're probably going to see is a huge movement to bring ERC20s over to the Pulsechain. If you guys look at PCRO, which is crypto.com, PCRO is 10x away from parity with its CRO ERC20 counterpart. There's a movement on Pulsechain to bring some of these ERC20s to parity. And when that happens, I guarantee you much more people are going to be trying to bring ERC20s to the Pulsechain. And what's a really great opportunity right now is bridging over your titanX from Ethereum onto the Pulsechain and creating your own liquidity pool, maybe between like Pulsechain or maybe a stable coin, because if people come in and buy that titanX, you're going to earn fees off of those trades and swaps. Keep in mind, there's going to be impermanent loss and whatnot. So that is one other route you can go, bridge tokens onto Pulsechain. But ultimately, you know, it just is what it is, and that's just part of the game. And you know, a lot of small buyers might get hit hard, but if you're going to get into titanX, you're probably going to have to put a large amount in. And in my opinion, the best time to mine titanX is going to be right now. So sorry, I went on a rant there. titanX Turbo. Someone shouldn't buy 50K hyper. They should buy 50K titanX and burn for hyper. That very well could be an opportunity. I mean, I'm not really sure how the hyper launch will come out. We still don't have the white paper yet. We have an idea that a lot of it is going to have to do with liquidity pools and these arbitrage opportunities. So, I mean, if it makes sense to buy 50K of titanX and burn it for hyper and it makes money, then go for it. Or maybe the opposite. So there's a lot of game theory behind this, and we're just got to sit back and wait and see how it plays out. Mr. Moby, sounds good. Sorry, let me see. Sounds good. But why titanX price drop every single day? The reason why the titanX price drop is dropping every day is because short-term miners are claiming profit. Right now, short-term miners are slowly becoming unprofitable. Less titanX is being minted out to the market, and because of that, that's where we're gonna have a little bit of a price drop. We also have the buy and burn coming in, buying these tokens off the market. The one thing I want to be clear is, you know, I like to, you know, put 10,000X in my thumbnail so you guys come in and watch my videos, but you very rarely see me say this token's going to go up forever. There's never going to be a price correction. It's never ever going to go down. That's not the case. You know, Hex went up pretty hard and it went down. Pulsechain is probably going to go up pretty hard and it's going to go down. titanX is going to go up pretty hard and then it's going to go down. They all do the same exact thing. Bitcoin. There's not one coin that goes up forever, and you know that's just part of crypto. You know, you have a lot of volatility in this space, and that's just something you have to get used to it. So overall, you know, titanX it's going to have dips, it's going to have run ups. It's just in the game. So hyper will push up the titanX price. Heart's law. Ryan, you also have to think about how many people will burn their stakes for hyper, so the staking pools will be less diluted when they do that. Definitely agree, man. I talked about on a prior stream, you know, I would imagine 50% people will burn their stakes for hyper, and so maybe this will increase your position going on in the future. And yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with doing like a max titanX stake to get some good ETH payouts, but also I would do a majority of your economic energy in miners. That's what I think. So everyone talking about hyper pushing up titanX up, but what about hyper price? So here's how this is going to go. You have it might be better if I just show you guys how this works, because I find people very confused about liquidity pools. I'm gonna draw this out for you guys, and then we'll just get into it real quick. So let me do a quick screen share. So here's how the price of hyper is going to perform. So basically, we have ETH, and then we have titanX. So I'm gonna go back to my old school diagram, and this is gonna be our LP pool, right? And then on the flip side, we will have this red one, titanX. And then we're going to have hyper HYP. Now, here's how this is going to perform. The thickest liquidity pool between hyper is going to be with titanX. This is going to be the thickest one here. It's probably going to be 99% of your swaps are going to have to go through titanX. That's how hyper's designed. Hyper's designed so that if you want to get into it, you go from Ethereum to titanX, then from titanX to hyper. That is how it's designed. And so if the price of titanX goes up, this is also going to bring up the price of hyper as well, because the liquidity pool, usually if it's above 75%, it's going to bring the price up with it as well. And this is something we're seeing on Pulsechain with PDI and Atropa. So based off of how hyper is being built, and if it can maintain this thick liquidity pool, and let's say, yeah, so when it's going to maintain that thick liquidity pool, so the price of hyper and titanX are going to be extremely closely correlated going on to the future. Keep in mind, you're going to see price differentials, and there's going to be ranges, but I think overall you're not going to see a massive difference in the price. You're just going to see a lot of trading between the pairs and these arbitrage opportunities coming in. So it's definitely a very, very confusing concept. I definitely suggest checking out Sonny the Detective. He goes really deep into these liquidity pools over at Sonny's Pubs, and he's a really great educator when it comes to understanding this stuff. But with that thick liquidity pool between titanX, there's going to be a nice price correlation between both of the tokens. So that's basically how it's designed to do, and I wouldn't really worry too much about the hyper price, because if the titanX token does really, really well, so will hyper as well. So awesome stuff. All right, so let me get back to more questions. Let's see. No one knows the hyper starting price yet. But then with hyper, did I miss any questions? Okay. But then with hyper, could they transfer the token back into titanX, and that would beat the point of burning Titan in the first place? So, but then with hyper, could they transfer the token back into titanX, and that would beat the point of burning Titan for the first place? So, when you burn titanX for hyper, titanX is removed from the market. Then you have hyper. And so if you go from hyper to titanX, you would have to sell your hyper back into titanX. So you're still removing titanX from the market. You can't burn hyper for titanX. That's not how it works. You can only burn titanX for hyper. True. Forgot about the burning through the V3 fees. Okay. Is Telos the token you're talking about? TLOS? Yes. Yes. titanX Turbo. Hyper was supposed to be 1-1. titanX initially to burn. Hyper was supposed to be 1-1. titanX initially to burn. Yeah, I don't know what your question is, but okay. Ben, has anyone hit the buy and burn and earned the user reward? Do you get the entire user reward sitting at 60K? I don't know anyone who's hit the buy and burn, and to be honest with you, I haven't really got into hitting the buy and burn button. I'm kind of scared, and I'm not really sure how it works out with the amount of ETH you have to put up. But I don't know of anyone who's done it. But if there's some sort of profitability behind hitting the buy and burn, I'm sure people will do it. But overall, I'm not gonna really go into it too much, because I've never done it before, and I guess that's probably one thing in titanX that I really need to look at, because I've been really looking at price and stuff, but I haven't really dove into that specific aspect. So I'm gonna cover that on a future live stream for sure. Mofo Fishing Show. That's why I heard too. Fox Pulsechain Bridge is free. Okay. Mofo. All right, let's see. Rayo X, waiting patiently for the hyper white paper. Need to break it down. Absolutely. When the hyper white paper comes out, I'm definitely going to do a great breakdown. So, cool. titanX, I know you burn titanX for hyper, but what about coming back the other way? Does it burn if you want titanX again? No. When you burn titanX for hyper, you just get the hyper, but you can't burn hyper for titanX. So the point is, you want to burn as much titanX as possible, and then with hyper, if you want to go back into titanX, you would have to sell hyper for the titanX token. Now the real question is, will hyper have some sort of burn function to control that supply going into the future? And that's going to be interesting. I think Jake might do it, but I don't want to speculate too much. Rayo X, realistically, in the upcoming months, titanX drops to 0 easily 10x if you're holding liquid. That could very well be true. I think titanX will have some price appreciation as we get closer to the launch of hyper. I think that's going to be a really big event, really pushing up the price. titanX Turbo. Hyper X is a good name for Hyper 2. I like that. That's a good one. Jay-Z Hexing. $1,000 max power miners by summer 2024. I suspect this could be true. Exciting ecosystem. Oh, God. Dude, Jay-Z, that's going to be crazy when we see the price of those miners go up and you really have to pay to play within the titanX ecosystem. And the crazy part about it is, the price of Ethereum appreciating going on to the future. So, as Ethereum gets higher and higher and higher, and we're seeing a lot of VC funds jump into this blockchain, that's going to really impact the overall titanX ecosystem. So yeah, man, I'm definitely really excited, man. And if Jay-Z, the Hexing, the 33 life path is in titanX, then you guys must be doing something right, because hey, man, 33s, man, they run the simulation. Mofo Fishing Show. titanX is just going to be in a slow slide till projects start launching, but after reading white papers and understanding it, the titanX will completely turn bull when projects begin dropping. I do agree with that. We got the buy and burn coming out. We got a lot of people that are looking at titanX. Joe Perry has 250,000 people following him, and he's been talking about like nonstop. And so I do agree that when we start seeing these projects build on top of it, we're going to see adoption. And if we get up to like 20 projects, that's when we could very well get close to that hyperinflation, hyper deflationary point. Now, this actually goes into another great point I want to throw out there, since I guess we'll do an extra long live stream today. You guys got me all fired up right now. Now, the thing that we're looking at is the token supply. So if we come over here and we just draw this chart out right here, and we do a black pin. So basically what we're looking at here is token supply. And then right here, we are looking at time. Now, right now, we're in this weird period where we're starting to see the token, the overall titanX supply slowly increase over time. Now, we're going to hit this one point in time, and it's going to take a minute for us to figure this out, where it goes from hyperinflationary to hyper deflationary very, very quickly. It's going to be this bell curve. Now, the top of this bell curve is what we're mainly focused on, and then that's when holding liquid titanX is going to be very, very well worth it, because if it becomes scarcer in the future, then we're going to get a really crazy price appreciation. Now, if we get more projects launching on top of titanX and people like it and the community adopts it, the top of this bell curve is going to move this way. And what I mean by that is we could potentially see a new bell curve sitting at somewhere like this, where it comes up and then it starts to go down like that. And so this difference in the space is going to be based on projects launching on top of titanX. So like I said, guys, I love it when people build cool projects on top of titanX, because that means we're just going to get much closer to that inflection point where we go from hyperinflationary to hyper deflationary, and that time period shortens, then we're going to be looking pretty good. And so that's the main thing that I'm looking at when it comes to these tokens coming out. So awesome stuff. Okay, cool. So Pish, what tokens are you high on besides titanX? Snare for bull market is AI and gaming. Take a look at USA token, 2 million real market cap, real rev, Gamify related, launched about a month ago. Okay. I'll check it out and take a look at it. Some tokens that I really like. I like BitSensor Tau. I like Stargate Finance, interoperability. They have a huge partnership with Layer Zero. Another project I really like is SparkSwap and L1X. L1X is creating a blockchain of internets, and L1X is actually going to be connecting into the Pulsechain, so that the Pulsechain can go from Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum without using bridges. So if you guys haven't checked out L1X, I think that's going to be a 100x to 1000x gem, and I'll cover it in the future. Okay, so let's see. Fox, I like thick LPs. I cannot lie. Oh man, I love you guys, man. Okay, so Michael Fleming, titanX, the game bang masterpiece. Yes, sir. It's awesome. Mo Fishing Show. I'm high on SCI. Now that I understand that too, I wish Jake got us involved somehow with them. Cool. RailX. Eventually, Hyper and titanX will be a 1-to-1 ratio. Yeah, I'm curious about this ratio because I really want to see the white paper and really break it down. And when that happens, I'll go in and start really explaining it. But right now, I think we're really guessing because my understanding is you can burn a certain amount of hyper for titanX. Originally, I thought it was 1-to-1, but it might have changed by then. So we'll just have to see. Okay. So let's see. The arbitrage opportunity would be at the start when there's a price discrepancy. Definitely do agree. All the way, and you slush on Talos does nothing but climb in value. I'm staking Talos and slush Swapsicle for awesome APRs plus the value asset on a rocket right now. Good stuff, man. Diamond. I'm into titanX, but I'm on the edge because it is a security. I'm guessing there's gonna come a point when the SEC goes after it or Ethereum bans it if they are possibly getting ETFs. I don't think titanX is a security. I know a lot of Hex Maxis try to say that. Right now, not many people know what a security is. Believe it or not, they're trying to say Pulsechain is a security. So I wouldn't jump to assumptions right away. And if Ethereum bans titanX, that would mean Ethereum's not decentralized. And the look on Ethereum would be crazy because if there was one project to get banned, it probably would have been Hex, and it seems like USDT blacklisted Hex. It seems like Uniswap also blacklisted Hex as well. So I don't think Ethereum will ever ban titanX. And if there were to be some sort of attack, it's going to be through the infrastructure on top of Ethereum. But as of right now, I don't think titanX is a security, and I also don't think titanX is going to have that much problems in the future. Could be wrong, but as of right now. Okay. Okay. Cool. So Rayo X, most excited about other plays that are building on top of titanX. Yes, sir. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out that project, man. I definitely we'll jump in, we'll take a look at it, and I want to vet it first, but yeah, I will review that project once I go into it. So I really do appreciate it. Lila, thanks for the nice drawings, Chris Casso. I love that, man. Good God, shout out to you, my brother. Don't forget to smash the like button. Damien, my brother. Damien in the chat. What is up, dude? It's always good to see you, Damien. What the hell? A Ninja titanX stream? Damn, son, I missed it. Damien, gonna catch the rewind after this is done. Yeah, hey, shout out to you, Damien. Absolutely love you, dude. Great to have you, man. Fat Miner 2000. What's your take on Carlson, the Cass Fork, a bull run candidate? I need to look at it, man. I have no idea what that is. I've seen so many projects, and I just need to look into it. So I'll review it and then come on a future live stream. I'll talk about it. Refined. The SEC would make your mama security. You guys are animals, dude. I love these comments. Patrick, can someone convince me that titanX will at least 1000x and Y before I decide to buy? Can someone convince me that titanX will at least 1000x and Y before I decide to buy? Look, man, if you want to get into titanX, just do your own research. Price predictions can get. What I find with price predictions is people either they're under predict them or they over predict them. So I think when it comes to looking at a project, don't necessarily focus on the price prediction. Focus on the utility. So if you want, Patrick, if you want to get into titanX, read about it. Get in, look at the dApps, look at all of the information you see from, the token burns to the staking to the ETH payouts, because this is what you can use to make a decision on it. Don't necessarily worry about the 1,000, 10,000, billion X or whatever. Just focus on the utility. If you think this project is a great utility, jump in. If you don't, it's not your thing. Hey man, it is what it is. I'm just throwing that out there. And then Goo God, absolutely don't buy it, mine it. Goo God's got a great point. I mean, consider mining it. So, cool. Refined. Nobody can convince you a guarantee. If they can, you have much to learn. That's a very good point. You know, there's no guarantees in life. Cool. Rayo X is PDI pegging to $1 because we pumping. Oh God, we're look. I need to do a PDI stream, man. Maybe I can get like Adam to come on and we can talk about PDI. So let's see. Okay, so Lasse, I made the exact same question as headline in the post. Utah, thanks for always covering titanX. Shout out to you, man. Um, a log. All right, all right. I'm sorry, I can't say your name. That's a hard name for me, but ELG. I'll just say ELG. Will this project be paying stakers in 3,500 days? Yeah. So when you stake your titanX, you'll get your titanX in 3,500 days. But over the course of you staking, you're going to receive Ethereum payouts, but you're also going to get the same amount of titanX from your stake when you end it. So there's no titanX inflation through the stake. The stake is used for the Ethereum payout. Please understand that. A lot of people got that confused. I even got that confused on day one. I thought you could stake titanX out into the future and get a bunch of tokens, but in reality, there's no staking inflation through that. The inflation of the token is through the miner. Rayo X, digest the titanX white paper. It's an eye opener. The real money's being made in the miners for real. So good stuff. And then Patrick, shout out to you, man. Thanks. All right, guys. Well, my voice is slowly going down. Looks like we don't have any more questions. I just want to thank everyone for being in here. Shout out to Damien, Gugov, Rayo X, all the way in new, Pish, titanX, Tributor, Turburator, all you guys. You guys are really great. Definitely let me know if you got any questions about titanX. Also, big thank you to CZ for that JZ, excuse me, for that awesome super chat, dude. It means a lot, man. I'm definitely gonna do something with that. I'll definitely post it. But dude, thank you so much. And like I said, guys, that's it for the live stream. We're gonna have a bunch of coming up next week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love every single one of you guys. Peace out.